What is going on, YouTube people? Today, we're going to talk about this. I don't even know what you want to call it. Nightmare is way too strong of a word. Let's just call it journey, shall we? This journey that my CGC on-site grading reholder order went through from Heroes Con. I'm recording this Thursday afternoon. 13 days. Today it's back in my hand. 13 days from when I dropped it off for same day reholder. Uncanny X-Men 266, first appearance of Gambit. New custom label. Added that on while I was getting it done. My old one had a nice big crack in the case going down the side here, and one across the bottom. I think it was there when I bought it, and either I just didn't notice it. I actually bought it at Heroes Con a few years earlier. Either I just didn't notice it, or it popped up or got worse as time went on. Whatever, doesn't matter. So this year at Heroes Con, for the first time since pre-pandemic, CGC was offering on-site grading. And I said, oh, you know what? It was $40 for a reholder. It's normally $20. And if I had to send this book off to get it reholdered, I don't know that I'd ever really mess with that. Maybe if I had something else going down there and I included it in, but it just seemed like overkill. The crack wasn't that bad, and it's not like I'm planning on selling it anytime soon. But I figured $40, it's $20 normally. I save on shipping down there. I don't have to ship the book out. I don't have to ship the book back. It basically balances out to actually being probably slightly cheaper to about the same. And I could drop it off and get it right back, no problem. Now, I knew it would be super busy. I know what on-site grading looks like for sports cards, and I know, having known that CGC has not done on-site grading in years for comic books, I knew it would be a little bit of a CF, probably. But I was at the show for 2 days, Friday and Saturday, come home Sunday, and I figured end of day, even if it's not done by end of day, I'm giving them a whole extra day to get it done. There was another component to this as well, and this is just, I have a little bit of a cheat code that most people don't. I had a media pass. With a media pass, I get on the show floor like 2 hours before everybody else, which means I was able to drop this off and submit it with essentially no line. I walked to the booth first thing Friday morning once CGC people got there, and I had my submission done before the show floor even opened up. So I was able to just walk up and do it, didn't have to wait in any line. That was a component of this as well, because I knew I wouldn't have to sit and wait in line forever, and the lines did get long at the CGC booth. More on that in a bit. So I drop it off, fill out the paperwork, do all the stuff I got to do. Great, cool. End of day. If it's not done, no problem. I'll deal with it later. So then I go about my adventures on the show floor for the day. It gets towards the latter half of the day, and I pull up my CGC submission tracker, and it's still not showing on there. If you search the order number, it shows this order does not exist. I have all the emails saying that it was dropped off. I have all that stuff. But not showing up that it had been received yet by CGC, if that makes sense. Like if I shipped it to them, it's essentially still sitting in the back room waiting for them to formally accept it. And I said, you know what? Like I said, no big deal. I'm here tomorrow. They're probably working after hours. They'll get to it. Saturday morning comes around. I wake up. I pull up the tracker. I got up, did my thing, was getting ready to head to the show. I said, oh, let me look at the tracker. And there's nothing on there. And if you watch the vlogs, you saw this on the vlog. I said, okay, let's head to the CGC booth. Just to check in, because I knew Saturday was my last day at the show. I go to the CGC booth, and this is where things start getting a little sideways, shall we say. Once again, I was on the show floor early, really didn't have to wait in any line, just kind of walked up a little bit before the show floor opened up and talked to one of the girls that was kind of manning the front half of the booth. And I said, hey, I dropped off a book yesterday for a reholder, which was the same day service, and it's still, it hasn't even showed up on my account page yet, and I'm leaving today, and I'm here the whole day, but this is my last day here. Is this going to be done? And she's like, well, she's like, what's your order number? But she goes, reholders are end of show, not end of day. And I'm like, no, they're end of day. And she's like, no, they're end of show. And I'm like, well, I pulled up their website because on the front page of their website, they had a whole CGC thing about HeroesCon pricing. And I clicked on the thing and I zoomed in on it and I said, well, right here it says $40 modern tier under $1,000 end of day. And she went, oh. And then I was like, right there on your big electronic board, they had a big TV screen flashing like all the pricing. I'm like, there it is right there, $40 end of day. And she goes, yeah, that's supposed to be end of show. That stuff's not right. And I'm like, oh, maybe update those things? I don't know. She's like, but it should be done today. No problem. Don't, it should be done today. We're good. And I said, okay. All right. And at this point, my confidence is beginning to wane. So once again, I go around the show floor. I do my thing. Around lunchtime, I think it pops, shows up. It's on the order tracking thing, that it's been received. And since it's a reholder, it basically goes straight to grading / quality control or whatever. There's only a couple steps when you do a reholder, and I could be misremembering slightly. But it goes through the whole entire day, and I never get notification that it's finished. I said, well, all right. I guess this is getting shipped back to me, because she said, if by chance it's not done, don't worry, we'll take it back to Florida and we'll ship it back to you. But it should be done today, no problem. I said, all right. Sunday rolls around. We get a late start to the day. My wife's moving slow. I'm moving slow. We kind of needed to get back for Father's Day. Long story short, family stuff happens. We no longer have to rush back for Father's Day. I said, okay. She's still kind of getting her stuff together. I said, do you mind if I go to the show floor for a couple hours? Just, we're here, why not? We had a 7-hour drive home. I didn't want to leave too late. So I go to the show floor. I didn't get down there right away. CGC already has a line. And I don't feel like waiting in the line. I said, I'll just walk the show floor for about an hour and a half, see if this thing gets done. Long story short, it does not get done. It is not done. So I leave the show at noon. We get home. I don't email them on Monday. I said, I'll just kind of let this thing breathe. They're closing out the show, whatever. On Tuesday, I email them and say, hey, I had a reholder. It was supposed to be done end of show. Just kind of checking in. Do I need to do anything here? And they're like, nope. We'll get it back. We're processing that stuff. We'll get it shipped back out to you. And I said, okay. I said, I won't need to pay for shipping, right? Because this was supposed to be done by end of the day. I'm still quoting that end of the day thing. And it wasn't done. And they're like, no, if we didn't finish, you won't get charged shipping. If they do, let me know and I'll take the shipping charge off. And I said, all right, no problem. So the next day comes and I get a ticket created on my behalf. Customer service rep emails me from CGC and basically says, hey, we have your book. You didn't pick it up in time. It's going to be $20 to ship it back to you. We'll get this out right away. I'm like, what do you mean didn't pick it up in time? Now, I should note, at this point, it's Tuesday or Wednesday, and it still is not showing that the order is completed on my order tracking page. And they're like, the customer service rep emails me back, and they're like, no, your book was done on Saturday. Or maybe first thing Sunday morning, I don't remember which. But either way, your book was done. You never picked it up. And I'm like, I sent him a screenshot of my order status page. I'm like, you guys never notified me that the book was done. I said, and my order status still shows that it's not completed. And they're like, oh, that must be an IT glitch. We'll let them know. And they're basically like, oh, okay, we'll take care of the shipping. No problem. They didn't really fight me on that. And I said, okay, any idea when it would ship, should ship out? And they're like, oh, end of the week, no problem. You should get notification any day now. I was like, all right. So we get to the end of the week. No shipping notification. Still doesn't show completed on my tracking page. I reply back to the email that I got. So I was just basically like, hey, just checking in. Is this shipped yet? And they replied back, and this was on Thursday. And the response was, I see this is with our shipping department, awaiting pickup from the carrier. Once this has been updated, your tracking information and grades should pop immediately. And I said, oh, okay, it's all packaged up. She's ready to go. Great. We go through the weekend. No shipping notification. It's now Monday. At this point in time, I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I hit them on the old Twitter machine, a little, at CGC Comics. I dropped this book basically and was like, I dropped a book off for a reholder last Friday, and it's still not done yet. We're on day 10, and I have no idea where this book is or what is going on with it. The nice person that runs their social account DM'd me and was like, what's your order number? Let me check into this. They reply back, thanks, we're rushing your order to shipping as we speak. That was like a moment. I'm like, wait a second. And I replied back. I was like, your customer service rep told me last week that this is in your shipping department. It's already packaged up, all bundled up, ready to rock and roll, but it just hasn't actually gotten picked up yet. And the person on social replied back, unfortunately, it was marked for shipping, but wasn't physically shipped. I don't know what that means. So the person on social, they were true to their word. Within about an hour, I get tracking information, shipping notification on it, and then finally shipped very quickly. It got here in 2 days. Now, like I said, I'm recording this on Thursday afternoon. What was supposed to be as advertised as a same day reholder took 13 days. Now, bear in mind, I dropped this off Friday morning, basically before the show floor opened. The only people that submitted before me were dealers on Thursday. So I was pretty far towards the front of the line. Imagine how many other people dropped stuff off Friday throughout the day, Saturday throughout the day, Sunday throughout the day. And if they were going off the sheet, they were thinking they were getting it back the same day. Ultimately, all's well that ends well. And like I said, this wasn't like a massive situation, but it was extremely frustrating all around. And really, it all got set up because their information was wrong. If it would have said end of show, I would have had a whole different mindset about this whole entire thing. And I may not even have done it. Or I would have looked into paying a higher premium to ensure that I got it back by end of day. I would have no problem with that. Now, ultimately, I actually think the book probably was done Saturday or Sunday. I think something wasn't linking up right with whatever to give me notification that the book was actually completed. I bet if I would have asked on Sunday, so I guess this is a little bit on me, that it was done, they probably would have looked up and their internal systems probably would have shown that it was finished. But I wasn't about to wait in line for that. I was relying on them to shoot me an email to say your product that you dropped off to us to perform a service is completed. I didn't know that I needed to wait in a long line just to ask that question, and that was part of the reason why I didn't do it. I'm like, I'm not going to wait in this big line just to ask if my book is maybe ready. That seemed kind of crazy when they're supposed to notify you when your book's ready to be picked up. So overall, I got the book back in one piece in my hands. It just ended up being way more frustrating than it needed to be. And I get it. It was their first time out of the gate in a long time with on-site grading, and I'm sure that they learned a lot. But hopefully they take a little lesson from this whole situation. And just have your documentation state accurate timelines is a big start, because that would have at least avoided a decent amount of the frustration with this. That's all I got. As always, curious for your thoughts and comments down below. Catch you on the next one. Peace.